viewers, and welcome back to McElroy's Motors, home of the weird, the boring, the projects, and the adventures. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be doing something completely different and yet completely car-related. Because yesterday, on June 12th, 2026, world history has been made. So it is now time to cue the music. I'm making this video here today to talk about the South African-born CEO of SpaceX as well as Tesla Motors, Elon Musk. Because on June 12th, 2026, he became the world's first trillionaire, surpassing the net worth of Jeff Bezos by 4 times. And if Musk's net worth as of now, which is worth $1.12 trillion, if it was worth 8 times what it was worth now, he would have enough money basically to give every person on Earth at least $1,000 cold hard. And I'm making this video here to talk about that. On one hand, I have nothing against electric cars at all. I think the technology that goes into electric cars is simply incredible, especially given the fact how much it has grown in the last 10 to 15 years. I mean, if you talk about cars from, let's say, 15 years ago, electric cars, like the Nissan Leaf or the Mitsubishi i-MiEV, despite their questionable looks, it was the start of something. And when I mean the start of something, the range on those cars was no more than 100 miles, and you had to at least charge it overnight just to get a full battery, if that. Nowadays, you could charge an electric car from 10% to 80% in as little as 15 minutes, and be good for like 200 miles. And if you fully charge them, they're good for 300 to 320 miles on average, if the weather permits. And like I said, I have nothing against electric cars, and I think the whole technology that is going into cars these days, with the self-driving and the fact that you can watch Netflix on the screens, is just simply incredible. I mean, if you had put me into a perspective, I was born in 1998. If you had told me in 1998 the cars would have screens where you could watch movies on, I would have thought you were crazy. In fact, just recently with the whole touchscreen ensemble, it just blows your mind how much they can cram into a car these days. My grandfather always said with his ex-wife's Lexus, it has so many features that if it had not been invented yet, it would have been invented in the Lexus. So coming back to electric cars, Tesla was not the first to mass produce electric cars for the United States market. That honor went to the Mitsubishi. They were the first, but Nissan took things up a notch. In fact, the Nissan Leaf remains to this day one of the most popular electric cars of all time, next to Tesla. But that brings me on to something, because I know Elon Musk is beyond rich. I mean, to say he's rich or wealthy is by far the biggest understatement I can give my audience. But the thing I have an issue with is if his net worth is more than Jeff Bezos or more than Steve Jobs or whomever is next on the roster, it makes me wonder about his engineering tactics. Tesla is trying to be a game changer when it comes to the vehicle industry. In fact, they were the first to make a whole screen that controls the entire car. They're very minimalistic with their recent interior designs. And overall, I think for the money, though, that they ask for those cars, I think they're not only overhyped, but also overpriced. I mean, like I said, the technology is fascinating, but have you seen the recalls that Tesla has been going through in the last 6 years? It seems to go on and on and on. And that says a lot coming from someone like me who likes the weird, unusual, and perhaps unreliable cars. And that makes me wonder about a few things here. And people always ask me, why do you not like Teslas all that much? It's not the fact I don't think they're bad cars. I just think they could be better based on their price, the hype, and the overall promise that Elon Musk fails to deliver. Take the Tesla Cybertruck as a key example. When Elon Musk first unveiled the Cybertruck in 2020, he said it would have a sticker price of $59,990 and it would go up to 400 miles of range. And here we are with the Cybertruck depreciating like crazy because it's not been the success that Musk wants it to be. And yet, when it was new, they made a foundation series that cost $100,000 and it did not deliver the 400 miles of range that Musk had promised. In fact, when he was unveiling the truck, it said it had like shatterproof glass, and he threw something at the window, and sure enough, it shattered. Kind of embarrassing if you ask me, but hey, I'm not Elon Musk. I don't have a net worth of 1.1 trillion. But I just think with Elon Musk's overall net worth, I mean, if you take into account the engineering that goes to manufacturing a car, there is so much other things that Elon Musk is missing on, besides the recalls. The fact that he promises so much and yet delivers so little. That's the reason why I don't like Teslas all that much, because I feel like they're just, the people who buy them think they're cool, and like I said, the technology, fascinating stuff. But they're just becoming more complicated to the point the Cybertruck has, and I'm not joking, it has its own car wash mode. Cars have not needed a car wash mode since the moment they were invented, and now here we are 140 years later, suddenly they need a car wash mode? I mean, the car I drive now, my 1990 Eagle Premier, is 36 years old, and it never needed a car wash mode in the first place. And yet, that car is known for electrical gremlins, and yet is perfectly fine going through a car wash. So it makes me wonder, what else is he trying to implement in the car? And that brings me on to another thing that Musk does with his cars, and it's the same with other current electric vehicles. I've seen videos on Facebook, YouTube, basically any video uploading source, that some cars need software updates. And that was not a problem when the Nissan Leaf or the Mitsubishi i-MiEV first launched, but now it is becoming a problem. I can just only imagine being somewhere, well, trying to get somewhere in a hurry, and next thing you know, let's say if you're late for work, ring, ring, Something Industries, how may I help you? Yes, my car bricked itself because it needs a software update. That's not going to make you look all that professional. That's the reason why I'm not big on Teslas, because they overcomplicate things that did not need to be overcomplicated in the first place. And yet, Elon Musk, even though he tries to say the Teslas are the best car in the world, I just don't see it, because I just saw the latest recall that was fixed on the Cybertruck when he tried fixing the Cybertruck using expanding foam. And bear in mind, this is a six-figure vehicle here. You don't see me fixing up my 36-year-old $1,500 car with expanding foam. Who in the right mind thought that was a wise idea? And yet, I've seen Teslas that have some kind of fault going on their screen to the point they can't be driven. I've seen Teslas already on flatbed tow trucks, and they're just not as reliable as Musk makes them be. And with a net worth of 1.1 trillion, I would expect better. I would expect, if I'm putting my money towards a Tesla, spending six figures on a state-of-the-art electric car, to have none of those problems. So my advice to Elon Musk is, if you are going to have that net worth, make it earned. Don't just have the money set aside to you just because you want to take the money from somebody's deposit. Don't take the money just because you have the promise. If you want that money, make the promise happen. Instead of relying on software updates, or if you're going to claim to get 400 miles on a single charge, deliver that promise. Make your cars stand out. Make them the game changer that you want them to be, instead of saying, oh, the truck's going to cost $50,000, and then next thing you know, you're charging $100,000 to customers. I think that's just petty theft. But I just don't understand why people buy Teslas this day and age, especially given the fact that Elon Musk has received countless backlash by people other than me. I mean, if you take into account he did the whole Nazi salute here, it's just completely and utterly crazy what he is doing with his life. And the fact that he got involved with the U.S. government and trying to take control of our Social Security paychecks, as well as the whole Social Security Administration, when he has far better things to do. He's not only the CEO of Tesla, not only the CEO of SpaceX, which launched IPO, and therefore that's how he became the trillionaire status, but he also owns Twitter. So it's not like the man needs money. He most certainly has it. He's the wealthiest man in the world. And yet, he has nothing to show for it. Have you seen any SpaceX projects take off and actually be successful? Have you seen any of his cars that have actually been launched or not delayed without any recalls at all. It's kind of sad and yet very tragic that people are falling for this. I just don't feel like what Elon Musk is doing is right. He's getting more and more money by people getting ripped off by him. And that's the reason why you would never catch me driving a Tesla. I drove one once, I hate to admit, and yes, it was instantly quick. We're talking 0 to 60, boom, just like that. With all that instantaneous torque that having an electric car gives to you, because unlike an internal combustion engine car, where the torque builds up, with an electric car, the torque is given to you at maximum starting from rest. But that's not the reason why I didn't like it. It's because I knew that car was going to be glitchy. I knew that it would be a failed promise. And the Tesla I drove was a Model 3 Performance. And yeah, it was fast, it was very quiet, and it handled brilliantly. But I just know if that screen goes wrong, which these Teslas have a habit of doing, you can imagine it would not be a pretty fix, especially if it's not covered by warranty. I'm sure Tesla's services are fantastic. I'm sure they are. I've seen and heard great things about it. But I'm driving a 36-year-old car with hardly any problems, despite some work needed. But you don't see my 36-year-old car on the back of a tow truck, despite its lack of reliability status. You don't see my car going through a software update after 36 years. And you certainly do not see my car being recalled every 6 months, plaguing thousands of vehicles. So my advice, like I said to Elon Musk, if you want to continue that trillionaire status, build proper cars that people cannot have issues with. Make the cars worth the money that people are spending on just to keep these on the road. And sure, having an electric car does not require oil changes, coolant flushes, or indeed transmission work, because electric cars just have direct drive. But at the same time, I just feel like Elon Musk is trying to push something that just isn't there. Sure, the cars have these gargantuan touchscreens on the middle of the dashboard, and sure, the interior design is minimalistic. But it cannot be minimalistic if the problems are maximum. It just feels like he's just doing far too much to complicate these cars, make them into nothing but a status. And yeah, they sometimes look good. I'll admit the Model 3 is a terrific looking car. But the Cybertruck? I honestly would rather make out with a camel with gingivitis than be seen in one of those. It just, like, what was Musk thinking? And the fact that it cannot pass crash test standards in Europe, when Musk is trying to expand worldwide with his other models, which I give him credit for. He's done that. He's got cars being sold in China. He's got cars sold all over the world. And it all started with one small car company that made a small electric sports car based on a Lotus Elise. Tesla has grown leaps and bounds since it was founding almost 20 years ago. And that makes me feel old thinking about that, but I'll excuse myself for that, because Tesla was founded at a time when I didn't even drive yet. I was only 10 years old. So yeah, I just think that Elon Musk is just trying to rub it in a little too much like salt into a wound or alcohol into somebody's crotch. But I just wish that if he had that trillionaire status, that it should be better earned instead of just trying to rip people off. I think Musk himself is a very money-hungry individual. I think he's a lunatic. But then again, this is just my opinion. I hope I don't lose followers for this. But at the same time, my grandmother said to me, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Anyway, I'm just going to conclude this video here today, and I just want to say a massive thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for McElroy's Motors if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys in a future video. Take care.